Hi, you guys. It's Jennifer. I know I've been pretty silent for a while. The truth of the matter is I've been pretty overwhelmed with the pandemic going on and the situation in our home. We have a child with a very significant medical need, so we've had to be really locked down. And all my kids are going to school online right now, and that works well for some of them and less well for some of them. So I have sort of transitioned to a lot of homeschooling and help, and between that and just everything, as you guys, I'm sure so many of you can relate, the pandemic has really changed our lives, changed the whole world right now. So it's been a little overwhelming, and I haven't been on much, but I wanted to take an opportunity just to share a few thoughts with you about what has been going on in our family and what I hope people might respond with, and just some thoughts I've had from some things that I've been seeing in the news and all around. This is, as I've told my kids, maybe the most divided and contentious time I can remember in my living history. I've never seen our country quite like this, so divided. I've definitely been through presidential elections before, but never one that's happening during a pandemic, and all of the stuff that's happened in 2020 with, well, you all know, the wildfires and the hurricanes, and just everything that's happening. It's been a really challenging time. So one thing I just thought I wanted to share is maybe my perspective as someone who is living with someone who has a critical illness. As many of you know, my son has a heart condition that makes him very vulnerable to COVID. And so, not that he would get it more readily, but that if he got it, it would have some really devastating impacts on him. And so we have to be very careful. And I keep hearing in the news, people keep saying things like, well, it's just those with pre-existing conditions. And that makes me so crazy when I hear that. It makes me want to say, wait, stop. Do you hear what you're saying? Do you understand the implications of that statement? And I want you, if you have not thought about it before, just take a minute and think about the implications of that statement. Because what it sort of means is that those lives of people with pre-existing conditions are less valuable than the lives of the people who don't have them. And that's just a stunning thing to say. And also, when you think about how many people, like, I realize not everybody is living with a child who has a medical condition, but how many of you know someone over 65? How many of you know someone with diabetes? How many of you know someone who's ill or know someone who knows somebody? Because this is how a pandemic works, right? Every action you take, whether it's going to affect you directly or not, is going to affect someone else. And for us, it's been very frustrating to watch this argument about the rest of us should all be able to go on with our lives, because every time you do, we can't leave our house. I mean, we really are pretty darn locked down. And my other thought about that is we're pretty darn locked down. We have 2 kids at college right now. Our oldest girls are both at different schools. They're small schools that have been taking this very seriously. Masks required. Everybody's distanced and everything, and they've kept their numbers super low. Their numbers have been in the single digits every week at their schools. And even so, our family, who I do not go out, we don't do anything, we are schooling at home, we've still been exposed 5 times. Five times. And both of my girls at college have been in quarantine already, because, I mean, some of that is just stunning bad luck, but some of that is also like, both of them have had a roommate who has tested positive. And both of their roommates have sobbed, not having a clue where they got it. And I'm looking at that going, this is not something to mess around with. This is us being very careful and being exposed that much. And I've heard people say, maybe this is a hoax. And I'm like, I personally know 4 people who have lost a loved one to COVID. I can't tell you how many people I know who have tested positive, and I realize this isn't the experience all over the country, but it's starting to be. When we look at the surge that happened just this week, this is why I thought I want to share. So here are my thoughts about what we can be doing. One, well, maybe this is the only thought, you guys, maybe this is all it is. I keep going back to the words of Jesus when asked, what is the most important command? Jesus answered, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, and your strength. And if you love God, that means you want to follow him. That means you want to be like him, emulate him. And he laid down his life for others. And he said the second one is like this. Love your neighbor as yourself. You guys, I'm hearing so much talk right now that's all so me. It's my right. It's my right to not wear a mask. It's my right to do what I want, to open, blah, blah, whatever it might be. And I want to say, yeah, but there's an old phrase that says, your right to swing your fist stops at my face. And right now, every time people ignore this very basic, just public health advice, you're actually making my life harder. And so I just want to say, I don't wear my mask. I've had a number of people say to me, well, you can wear a mask if it makes you more comfortable. We're not going to wear masks, but if it makes you more comfortable, wear a mask. And I want to say, no, what would make me more comfortable is if you would wear your mask. Because I don't wear my mask for me, I wear it for you. You wear your mask for me, I wear my mask for you. It's a sign that we respect each other. It's a sign that we care about the well-being of each other. I know we walk often in our neighborhood without masks. We have a lot of space, but what I love about it is if we see anyone, the whole neighborhood's on the same page. Everybody crosses the street. We're not 6 feet away. We're 25 feet away if we're not wearing a mask. And that's what everyone is doing to show what I see when my neighbor does that. I feel like, thank you. That's what I think every time. Thank you for doing that. When I pick up my groceries and the person is wearing a mask, I think, thank you for doing that, and I will wear my mask for you. This should not be political. This is something I really wish we could hear more than anything in the world, because we're going to have different political beliefs, and that's okay. But what I'd love to hear is that we're all going to band together to get rid of this thing, because just as much as everybody else wants their life to go back to normal, so do I. I would love to go outside again. I'd love to not be afraid for my child all the time. I'd love to not be afraid for my mom and my in-laws. I would love it if we could together attack this together and do this thing that helps us show our love for each other. Because when Jesus came, he was not about himself. He was about others. He was about showing love to others. And so when we love our neighbor as ourselves, we're seeking the good of someone else over our own. So maybe that's really basic, and I don't mean to sound preachy. I'm really not trying to sound preachy, but I think people need to understand that there are, and I'm in circles where I know I am not alone in this. This is a big deal. There are so many people who are living with their parent who's elderly, or they're living with someone who's immunocompromised, someone who's going through chemo, someone who has, like my son, has a heart condition and cannot afford to get this. Even people who are healthy can have bad outcomes, but we know this is a lot of people. I remember when one of my daughters found out that her roommate had COVID, she started sobbing on the phone to me, and I said, honey, I think, you're young, you're healthy, and she said, Mom, I'm not crying for me. I said, why are you crying, honey? And she said, I'm crying because I know the cleaning lady. She said that the cleaning lady is elderly. She said, and someone has to clean that thing, and she had stopped and talked to her, and she said, and I know she has to clean those isolation quarters. And she said, I'm scared for her. I'm scared for that woman. I was so proud of her at that moment, and I wanted to say that should be the attitude of all of us. We all know somebody. We all know we should be protecting each other. So this is just my call. Christian or not, please care about other people and show your love in this way. So I just want to close also by saying, please vote, go vote. We need the country to get out and have our voice be heard. So vote, love each other, care about each other. I'm going to try to be back more than I have been. We do have a really exciting new project that's coming, and I did like a little teaser like a month or two ago, and everyone's like, what is it? What is it? And I'm like, I'm sorry, like I've been homeschooling all day. We do have a new project. It's pretty much done. I just have to get it together to tell you all about it. I can't wait to share it. It's unlike anything I've ever done before, and I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to share it with you, and hopefully it'll be real soon. But I hope I can be back with you soon. I hope we all can be back. But let's be praying for people working in hospitals. That's so got my heart right now. These people who have to go to work every day and they're just watching it get worse. And they have families too. They have loved ones too. They want to go home too. So let's be praying for those people. Let's be keeping each other safe. Let's be showing love in that way. That should not be a complicated statement. Let's love each other this way. Let's pull together as a country, this country that I love. Let's pull together as a country and care for each other and show people how it's done. Love radically by caring for each other. I'm kind of going long enough now. Sorry if this is long, but I just wanted to share that, and I hope you all are well. Please feel free to leave in the comments below if there are things I can pray for you for. I would love to pray for you about that. Please, message me on Facebook or whatever. I'd love to be praying for you, and I hope you all are well. Yeah, blessings, and we're going to get through this together.